Good morning, everyone. Today is April 27th, 2023, and there was just some huge news announced for Falcom fans in Japan. After 3 years of waiting, the Nintendo Switch versions of the Japanese Nintendo Switch ports of Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure will be released later this year on August 31st. Now, this is the Kai version, which was originally released for the PlayStation 4 3 years ago while the whole world was on lockdown. So, it's going to carry over some of the features from the PlayStation 4 version, such as high-speed skip mode, or fast mode, or whatever it's called in the official North American translation. And they also upscaled the. It seems like they also made audio clearer and also made the whatever it is the resolution higher than the PSP version, but it's still unsure whether they would use the like NIS America enhancements by Durante or not. So here are some of the details. It's gonna be released for Nintendo Switch on August 31st, 2023, which is going to be a Thursday, and it's gonna come out for Nintendo Switch. Now, especially because this the rates for the Switch port for Zero and Azure were actually handled by Nippon Ichi Software, which has its share of controversies at the end of last year regarding Trails from Zero and how they've handled the cease and desists, and not just that, but also the fact that the PS4 version is inferior to the Switch and PC versions. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, this screenshot right here, that's Una Crawford when she was younger. In other news, well, before we move on to our next story, I was actually not planning to buy the PS4 port of Trails from Zero. I mean, the NISA PS4 version of Trails from Zero, until I found it in Singapore at the Funan shopping mall. It's a very nice mall, but when I stumbled on that game, I literally paid I don't know, 60 Singaporean dollars or something. And it was not cheap because I also had to pay GST, and I needed a passport to get GST refund or something. But unfortunately, while I was going, my passport was kept in a safe location. So, yeah. Now, how significant is this? To put it in perspective, the first Switch ports for these games came out in 2021 by Clouded Leopard Entertainment. It was released for the South Korean and Taiwanese markets. It was also released in Hong Kong as well, but we'll have to cover something really serious about Hong Kong later this stream. And as I said, because I will be returned to Singapore in a few years, this stream may be deleted upon my return to Singapore. Hold on. The next Switch ports that came out were from NIS America, which were in English and were sold for the PS4, PC, and Nintendo Switch in the West. Now, the only thing it was lacking. It was a dub, and I know one of my viewers has been like very disappointed that there wasn't a dub version of Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure. Now, what did the NISA ports have that the Clouded Leopard Entertainment ports didn't? Because they added enhancements to both the Windows and Switch versions, which did not make its way to the PS4 version. Now that's a little bit sad because people had to double dip on the PS4 version for the Mass Sepith Bonus when Trails into Reverie comes out on July 7th. And people also had to get the Switch version or the PC version to enjoy the enhancements that Durante put in there, such as higher texture quality and higher frame rate or something. So, the last official release on consoles that was for Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure were back in 2020. And now that the PS4 is being phased out due to the availability of PS5 consoles and the fact that more developers are starting to make PS5 exclusive games, the Switch port seems kind of important because the game was previously playable on the PSP and PS Vita, including the Evolution versions, which I won't talk about because of copyright reasons. And the rights are actually secured by Nippon Ichi Software, which also secures the rights for Cold Steel 3, Cold Steel 4, and Trails into Reverie. But we have some more news to go over regarding Nihon Falcom. Okay, let's do a quick Alright, so as of now, $1 is 134 yen. So, and the timing couldn't be any better because the Golden Week sale will start soon. And it'll run between April 26th and May 10th. So you can get a maximum discounts of 52% when you buy the following titles. The titles that are on sale are Yeast 9, a bundle of Yeast 8 and Yeast 9, Naruto no Kiseki Kai, Trails into Reverie, the Japanese version, the PS5 version of Kuro no Kiseki, the PS4 version of Kuro no Kiseki, and Kuro no Kiseki 2. So we'll go over the price decreases. So for Yeast 8 and 9, will be 32 US dollars. I'll type the amount in chat first of all. For Kuro no Kiseki 2 Crimson Sin, depending on which version you get, it will range anywhere from $37 to $249. So let me just type in. Hold on. Let me check the prices again. Yes, it is $37 for regular edition. Okay, so continuing with our Golden Week Falcom sale stuff, the PS5 version of Kuro no Kiseki has been dropped to $39.32 JPY, which is around $29 or $30. Hold on, let me edit my message. Can I edit my message? No, I can't edit my message. Yes. And the upgrade fee to between the PS4 Kuro no Kiseki and PS5 Kuro no Kiseki has been halved. So instead of paying 110 yen, you'd be paying 55 yen, which is actually around 41 cents, which is actually cheaper than most stuff you can get in like the States nowadays, thanks to inflation or something. So PS4. Kuro 1 for PS4 will remain at 39.60 yen, which is ironically more expensive than the PS5 version. And now the last two games I want to cover for the Falcom sale. Falcom Golden Week sale on PlayStation Store. The digital deluxe version of Trails into Reverie is supposed to be 5,500 yen. Or $41. It's actually cheaper than buying the NIS America version, which currently sells for $60. And Nayuta will cost around $21. So there's not much time to waste because the sale ends on May 10th, Japan time, and once you pay, and because the dollar is strong against the yen, this might be a good time to take advantage of these discounts. Now, I spent most of the stream talking about the Golden Week sale, but we need to talk about something less, less rosy. So, okay, we need to talk about this topic. And I'll enter reader review. So, last month, Hong Kong police arrested a 23-year-old Hong Kong woman who has been studying in Japan since 2019 upon her return to the city. What was her crime? While in Japan, she has posted messages online in support of Hong Kong pro-democracy protests according to media reports. Her arrest for inciting secession reflects a dangerous attempt by Hong Kong authorities to arrest and prosecute people for exercising their rights to free expression outside of the city. Yeah. Meanwhile, the lead actress of the Mulan 2020 remake is like, I support Hong Kong police, or something. You know what? I would not touch... Let me phrase it this way. I would still boycott the 2020 Mulan remake, even though it's everywhere now. It's on Disney Plus, it's on Blu-ray. But it's just a case of how movie critics got paid money by a rogue authoritarian regime to say good things about the film, while the audience hated it. Especially those who escaped Hong Kong and mainland China. This movie's gonna sit sourly because, as you know, the Hong Kong... actually, the Walt Disney Company was already sold to the highest bidder, which is actually the government of mainland China. Now, this is some really dark dystopian stuff I don't want to talk about anymore. But if you are planning a trip to Hong Kong soon, make sure you review each and every one of your friendships, connections, etc. Because you could get arrested and sent to life in prison, or in the most extreme cases, you could even be like, you could even get your organs harvested. Like how, like, the Communist Party of China harvests organs from Falun Gong practitioners. With that out of the way, I would not recommend going to Hong Kong anymore. If you want to go anywhere in the Chinese-speaking world, I recommend either Singapore or Taiwan. But Taiwanese sovereignty is really important nowadays because Taiwan is currently in danger by the mainland, by the PLA over in mainland China. So, and also flights between Japan and Vietnam are being rerouted so they fly east of Taiwan rather than over Taiwan. I checked using Flight Radar 24, and this concerns my trip too, by the way. So, I might hide this stream before I enter Vietnam, just so I don't get in trouble with the authorities there. So what did we learn this stream? The Japanese market is finally getting Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure ports for the Switch. And we found out that Nihon Falcom and Sony are running a large Golden Week sale on the Japanese PlayStation Store. Especially with the weak yen, you should take advantage of this deal. And also, we learned that Article 38 of the National Security Law of Hong Kong is very dangerous if you plan to go to Hong Kong. But I know people who are planning to go, and I just feel scared for them because God knows what will happen next. Because the Sino-British Joint Declaration didn't even last a quarter century. It was supposed to last a half century after the handover, but it was abruptly ended before the 25th anniversary of the handover, like 2 years before the 25th anniversary of the handover. And I was at Singapore Airport, transiting and waiting for my flight to Vietnam, and you know what they said? They celebrated something that, I don't know. I might get a community guideline strike this stream because of my exposure of human rights abuses in Hong Kong, but I hope I don't get my stream shut down for a week because I couldn't upload a project that I worked on this week. So, this is Lucas Notch. I'm out.